Hi, good morning, guys. It is technically now that I have, okay, I started off on the wrong foot. Good morning, welcome to my channel. This is Daniel. Welcome to Engelgeist. Um, for those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your support. I am doing the forecast for Monday, the 16th of March. I just got finished watching, it is the morning of the 15th, right? And so I always take these now a day early so that those over at Patreon who subscribe get to see them a day early. So I just got done watching the Sunday forecast, which is also the underpinning energy of the week. It is a beautiful forecast, even though there's like total chaos happening in the world, or, you know, pretty chaotic behavior. And so I'm really inspired to see what comes out of the cards today. But I was just sort of blown away by yesterday's reading for today, for this week. The 222 in it really kind of, as I was rewatching it again, I was like, well, that's really sort of profound. So I'm excited to see what's going on for us this week. This is a sort of like your spiritual forecast, right? The way I sort of, the analogy I use is I'm your spiritual meteorologist, right? Like I kind of predict the energy that you might be dealing with this week. Now, it is a message for the greater collective, for the highest good. So it could mean that it applies to you. It could mean that maybe this week it doesn't, or some days might and some days might not. But basically, it's something to sort of guide you or look at, focus on, put your attention on, your intention towards, and sort of work towards your highest good. Okay? So if it doesn't really resonate, that's okay. Don't worry. If it does and it makes sense to you or applies to your life, please leave me a comment and let me know. I would super appreciate that. Other ways you can support the channel are through my Patreon, which is at Engelgeist333, or you can follow me at the same tag or same name on Instagram. Not a huge Instagrammer, but I am over there, and that's one way of getting in touch with me. You can book a private reading through my Facebook business page. All of that stuff is linked via my YouTube channel, and back and forth. You know, my YouTube channel should be findable via the Facebook business page. So depending where you're watching this from, if you go to the other platform and please subscribe, hit the notification bell. That's a huge way of supporting me. Any comments I try and address and answer if possible. If they're bot comments, I appreciate bot comments, but I'm not going to respond to bot comments from people, but I do appreciate them. And that's about it. So let's see what's going on in the forecast today for those of us that are paying attention. The other thing I will say too is if this is reaching you and it's not the 16th of March and you're seeing this in your feed, it might be time for you to feel this message. It might be time, you might be in vibrational sync with this message, and Spirit might be wanting you to see it at this time, right? That has nothing to do with me and everything to do with Spirit and how it works, right? So don't turn it off just because you hear the date of the 16th. There might be something in here for you that applies to your life wherever you may be at whatever time you may be seeing this. Alright, so let's see what's going on for the greater good. Okay, we have the Five of Wands. Interesting. To me, 5 is always about change. Wands is the element of fire, right? And it's also the idea of spirit, right? The element of spirit. When I look at these wands, it definitely feels like there's a strength here. There might be something that we're shifting or changing, a change of heart. These hearts are definitely pulling my attention. And also, I am tracking it back to yesterday's reading, which I just watched this morning. And it was very much a love-centric reading. We had that Two of Cups as the beginning sort of energy for Sunday and also the underpinning energy of the week. So with this Five of Wands, it sort of says to me that there's something is changing within our spirit, something is shifting within our spirit. There's also a strength that I feel in these Five Wands. I like that they are sort of, generally Five of Wands can be like sort of like a challenge or a competition, friendly competitive energy, that sort of a thing. I don't necessarily feel that with this card today. I feel that this is about sort of us kind of strengthening ourselves from a place of spirit, right? from a place of more being focused more on the feelings of our heart or our heart-centeredness. Again, we have twos, these two hearts. There's that balance to that we were seeing in yesterday's forecast also, which was 222. And if you go back and you look at that forecast, you'll see what I'm talking about the 222s. And I feel like this two energy is also connecting here through this card with these two hearts. I said yesterday with that Two of Cups being the beginning of the week card, there was two hearts also on that card too, and I feel like this is the deepening of that connection to spirit for ourselves. It is sort of I feel like us becoming stronger spiritually because we're more in touch with where our heart is at. That's not necessarily the traditional meaning of this card, but that is the feeling or the message that I sort of feel compelled to deliver when looking at this card today. I feel like even though fives are an uneven number, and they don't necessarily, to me, even numbers offer more stability, right? This feels to me like they are firmly planted into the ground and they are sort of knitted together with this central wand that is sort of grounded and focused and ready to kind of, I don't know, like move forward is the best way I want to say. Move forward in a deepening of a relationship to ourselves, move forward in a deepening of a relationship to our fellow man, move forward in a deepening of relationship to maybe a significant other. But I feel like it is definitely about this connection to spirit, this change in our connection to spirit. But it is, to me, this feels like for the majority of you, a change for the better. A change, like a strengthening in your connection to spirit, right? The five representing the change, but these hearts are definitely telling me that we're deepening our connection to our spirit and what we want and how we want it and what we deserve. Like there's definitely like this air of strength and an awareness of what we deserve that I feel like in this card. That is totally not the definition of this card. I just want you to know that. But to me, that's what I'm feeling as I'm looking at this card today. And maybe it's because I'm a little bit keyed up from yesterday's forecast for the entirety of the week, but these hearts here are definitely speaking to me about this idea of if it's not a connection to our fellow man or to another individual, maybe a family member or a friend, a deepening of that. This is definitely about a deepening of our connection to self, an appreciation of self, an awareness of who we are, an awareness of change is not a bad thing, even if it's happening on a spiritual level, even if it's happening at the heart level. It's sort of, to me, when I look at the natural universe, I think about change as being the one constant thing that we all have to experience. I mean, it's like that and death, right? Nothing stays static or the same. If it does, it becomes stagnant and it's usually experiences death at some point, right? If you think about energy and the way that energy works, even if we stay stagnant in our lives, sooner or later we become so miserable or so stagnant that something has got to give. And essentially, whatever that was that we were stagnant in does die off. Does that make sense? So to me, I feel like this is us opening up and becoming strong and available or ready for sort of the change that might need to take place, both spiritually and emotionally. That's the hearts too. That will allow us to kind of stand stronger, especially during this time where it's sort of challenging, right? We look at things in the media, we look at things at what's going on in the world right now, and these things are challenging. But we need to stand strong in our own truth, of not only our truth of our hearts, but the truth of our spirit. And I feel like that is sort of what is going on in this Five of Wands, is that it is challenging us. Maybe that's the competition energy that comes along with this card. Usually it's like a sort of friendly competition card, right? All the wands are kind of vying for attention. But to me, this feels very like centered and then like supported by these other wands here. And then these hearts are like sort of also surrounding that. So I get this different sense of this Five of Wands today than what it would normally traditionally mean. For those of you that might be feeling a little bit off or not feeling quite so centered, I want to say that this is an opportunity. This card is showing up to show you that you can get there through maybe some hard work, through some focus, through some belief in oneself. And kind of like, to me, I feel like there's a petulance almost to this card in a way. Like, and I mean that from a good standpoint. Not that petulance is actually a good thing, but I feel like these wands are putting their feet down, right? They're like, no. Like, planting themselves firmly in the ground, crossing against this wand, sort of not protecting it per se, but just being like firm about like, no, this is what I want, this is what I believe to be true, this is what my spirit needs, and I'm gonna go after it. Does that make sense, guys? And so that's what I mean by petulance. It's like sort of like not demanding in an aggressive way, but just not settling for less. Is what I feel like this card is saying to us today. That option is available to us if we want to give it to ourselves. Even if we don't believe it's there, we need to begin to believe that it's there and open ourselves up to that so that we can experience the cards that we saw on yesterday's forecast. Let's see what the universe has your back says. Oh, sorry. We see this card a lot. The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. So, now, when I see this card next to this Five of Wands, I think about sort of maybe these Five Wands, there might be a bunch of different options going on, and that might be the competitive nature, right? Where we have to sort of clear away some of, I feel like there's a strength in these wands. I feel like there's a coming together and a support that's happening for this singular wand or this singular desire, this singular connection to spirit, and the strengthening of that. But we need to also reconnect to that idea of realigning ourselves with that love, and that clear direction is presented to us. I always say this when I see this card, this sort of Rorschach pattern makes me feel like it's a brain. How it's all in this pink color, and it looks to me like the brain, and this is the center of our brain, this circle here. And I feel like that is where, in the center of our head, is where our psychic sense or our third eye is, our clairvoyance, our pineal gland, right? And so when we take that and we focus that sort of this strength of spirit, we sort of maybe are able to realign ourselves with this idea of love, with the concept of what our spirit wants, what our heart deserves, what we really feel like we truly deserve. And we put that in sort of like the center of our brain, the center of our focus, the center of our thinking. And we maybe wash away the competitive thoughts that might come along with the competitive nature of this card. Although I don't necessarily feel that competitive nature, this card is traditionally all about, friendly competition and that sort of thing. So there might be thoughts for some of you that might be struggling, that are dealing with, should I do this, should I do that, should I do this, should I do that? I would say stay strong and stay focused in who you are in spirit. Stay strong and stay focused in what you feel in your heart, and then place those ideas directly into the center of your brain and make those your focus, right? Realign yourself with that love. As you do that, that clear direction becomes presented to you. It becomes easier to see, it becomes easier to manifest, it becomes easier to experience, it becomes easier to live by that idea, right? So that is sort of where I feel like these cards are taking us. And then the stone for today is on, oh shit, I can't think of the name of this stone right now, carnelian, which is a good grounding stone, right? It definitely represents the root chakra. And it's an interesting one. It's going to be sideways. It may not stand up. It's called Embrace. To me, this embrace is about us embracing ourselves and what we need, what our spirit wants, and not letting go. It's like taking these thoughts of the heart and the spirit, placing them in the center of our mind, making them the focus of ourselves, right? And embracing that lovingly, wholeheartedly, realigning with that love and allowing that clear direction to be presented to us this week. We have that midweek card of the sun, which gives life to everything, gives energy to everything, gives energy to our thoughts. Our thoughts are energy. It helps to manifest and grow those things. We are in the spring season. The trees are coming back. It's certainly where I am here in Texas, but they are coming back. And so to me, it's like the sun is sort of feeding all of that, right? As we go into this midweek, anything that we're thinking, anything that we're allowing to win the competition of our sort of thoughts in mind is what is going to be energized by midweek, right? So this idea of embracing ourselves, embracing our self-worth, embracing those around us that we love, and placing that love and that care directly in the center of our mind and aligning ourselves with that love no matter what is going on in the world is so very, very important right now. Ground in that. Remember yesterday's grounding stone, which was the theme for this week, which was respect. And I think that this embrace stone goes nicely with that idea of respect, because it's reminding us also to embrace that respect, not only of ourselves, but of those around us during these times. This is an opportunity. Through adversity, we have like these opportunities to grow, right? We have these opportunities to evolve. We have these opportunities to expand. And I really think that's what's going on this week. That's what I feel like these cards are telling me. And I really would love to hear your guys' experiences if that's the case. And if it's not the case, please leave me a comment and let me know. But that's what I'm seeing for this Monday, the 16th. I hope it makes sense to you guys. That is your forecast for the day. Go out there, be strong, follow your heart, connect to your spirit, and place those ideas of love and centeredness, embrace them and make them your central focus for the day, and see what that brings back to you. All right, have a great day. I love you all. Thank you so very, very much for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow. All right, bye-bye. Take care.